Today we're going to talk about the one word that defines why our messages don't stick in the minds of people. Includes my messages, your messages, everybody's message. And there's, to some degree, you can't help this, but to some degree you can, all right? If I were to say to you, repeat back after me, orange, you'd go orange. You wouldn't have any problem with that. If I said orange potato, you could repeat that. But if I said orange potato, shirt, button, lamp, camera, paper, universe, table, and gave you a list of 50 things, you probably couldn't repeat them back unless you're brilliant. You know why? Interference. Every added word interferes with the first word, orange, which you could easily remember. When you go to a party and you meet somebody and you think, I got to remember his name, that's John. Then you end up meeting Sally and Tim and Fred and George, and all of a sudden, interference. Everything that is in your message, if it does not directly relate to the main point of your message, to your tagline, is interference. You're going to be tempted to tell some cute story. You're going to be tempted to tell, give some great illustration you think just is really a great illustration, but if it doesn't fit the message, it's interference. And so when you go into somebody's house and you look at a beam going across their wall, and you look up and you say, is that for decoration or is that load bearing? They say, well, that's load bearing. That really supports our house. I look at that the same way in building a message. I'm tempted just as you are. I've got a clever story or some neat thing I want to tell the people, but it doesn't really quite fit the message. It's interference. As good as it is, as clever as it is, it's interference. But if in fact, everything that I say, every text I use out of the Old Testament or New Testament to support the main point, everything that I do, every parable I bring to bear on it, every storyline, everything in my own life, every personal story, every illustration, if all of them point to the main point, they are load-bearing. And if they're not load-bearing, they're interference. And we must learn to make everything load-bearing. And that requires lots of work and lots of discipline. Because as you're looking at your message, you've got to be able to say to yourself, I'm really tempted to put this in, but I'm just going to scrap it. I'll use it someplace else where it fits. It's a little bit like the law of diminishing returns. You invite a couple of guys over to help you clean out your garage. It works well. A third guy shows up. It works a little bit better. A fourth guy shows up. Now you're starting to get in each other's way. That's the law of diminishing returns. More isn't always better. Sometimes less is a lot better. So you have to be disciplined. Look at your message. Think about it hard. Does every single thing that I have to say distill itself and drive home the very trajectory of the message of the main point, or is it simply going to cause more interference so that people walk out, they remember the funny story, they remember this, but it didn't fit what you wanted them to learn, and that's what they remember, they drive away, and they didn't get your message. And again, as I've said before, you've wasted your time and you've wasted their time. So make sure that you discipline yourself to make sure that everything you say is load-bearing. Our next session, we're going to talk about bringing everything to its logical conclusion. This is going to be a tough one.